Hi, and welcome to Nature's Path to Wellness. My name is Wendy, and today we're going to be talking all about histamines and histamine intolerance. So, histamine is a chemical that naturally occurs in the body and in some foods. So, this happens when the amino acid histidine converts to histamine. And the types of foods that most often cause this type of issue are fermented foods and beverages. So, cells in the immune system, including the basophils and the mast cells, when there's a perceived threat in the body, will trigger smooth muscle contractions in the intestines when histamine is released, causing cramps and diarrhea. And expansion of the blood vessels can cause low blood pressure when there's histamine released in the body. And it actually is meant just to ward off invaders, but it often causes us a lot of discomfort. So in the stomach, it can trigger stomach acid, and in the brain, part of the hypothalamus, it acts as an excitatory neurotransmitter. So what happens is that often people don't have enough of the enzymes that break down histamine in the body, so they actually causes a histamine accumulation, and it's also known as histamine intolerance. Women who are middle-aged are quite often the ones that experience histamine intolerance, and the reason for that is because of the estrogen levels in the body. And estrogen actually promotes histamine in the body, whereas progesterone inhibits the release of histamine. So if there's more estrogen, there's likely to be more histamine in your body. So what else can cause histamine in the body? Can be too many mast cells, too much histamine in the form of foods and beverages is ingested, and degradation of histamine is impaired due to lack of enzymes. So what are some of the symptoms of histamine intolerance? Well, the symptoms are common with all kinds of other things, so it might be easy to miss, but they include swollen eyelids, sneezing, nasal congestion, low blood pressure, bloating, gas, abdominal pain, red eyes, heart arrhythmia, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, headaches, dizziness, um, menstrual issues, chronic fatigue, and in depression and anxiety. So again, a lot of these symptoms can be symptoms of something else going on in the body. But if you have a lot of these symptoms, maybe 5 or 6 or even more, it might be worth considering that you may have a histamine intolerance and consider having that looked into. So you can go to a doctor and you can have histamine intolerance diagnosed, and there is a gold standard for doing that. It's called a double-blind placebo oral challenge. And what they will do is they will take out any histamine-causing foods from your diet for a period of 4 weeks, and then they will slowly add them back and see what the reactions are. But to be honest with you, instead of having to go to a doctor and do this, you can even try it on your own, removing some of the foods that are usually the ones that cause histamines in your body. And I'm going to list off a bunch of them here, and I will also include these foods in the description so that you can have a list. They are aged cheeses, processed meats, alcohol of any kind, and most especially red wine, avocado, dried fruits, fish and seafood, fermented beverages, so beverages like kombucha, ketchup, pineapple, soy sauce, liquid aminos, teas such as black, green, or white teas, tomatoes, vinegar, yeast products, and fermented dairy such as cottage cheese, yogurt, kefir, buttermilk, and ricotta cheese, pickles, fermented veggies such as kimchi, sauerkraut, natto, and miso. And I think this one almost goes without saying is spoiled foods. Hopefully no one out there is eating spoiled foods. However, something to consider is leftovers. Leftovers can also be a culprit. And so if you have leftovers that have been in your fridge for more than 24 hours, I would consider getting rid of those altogether. So there are foods that are actually considered histamine releasers. So if you have an abundance of histamine in your body, some of these foods can help to release the histamines, and they are chocolate or cocoa, Bananas, citrus fruits such as oranges, limes, and lemons, egg whites, legumes, licorice, nuts, pineapple, spinach when it's been boiled, and strawberries. So, again, if you suspect from the list that I gave of the symptoms earlier of having a histamine intolerance, it might be worth considering cutting out some of these foods and seeing if it helps to relieve the symptoms. I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and I do look forward to seeing you again next time.